The old man sat alone in the dimly lit diner, his weathered hands cradling a chipped coffee mug. His name was Jack Ramsey, a retired Navy SEAL, though no one here knew that. Decades had passed since his last mission, and the small town of Havenwood offered solace from his past. His silver hair and stooped posture blended into the crowd, rendering him invisible, or so he thought. The tattoo on his forearm, faded but distinct, was hidden beneath a worn flannel sleeve. It was a trident, the SEAL emblem, etched during a time of brotherhood and blood. Outside, rain pattered against the diner's windows, casting shadows on the checkered floor. Jack sipped his coffee, eyes scanning the room out of habit. The door swung open, and a young man in a navy hoodie stepped in, shaking off the rain. His build was athletic, his gaze sharp, military, Jack noted instinctively. The young man ordered a black coffee and sat 2 booths away, glancing at Jack briefly. Jack shifted, pulling his sleeve down. The tattoo was a relic, a reminder of missions he'd buried deep. He'd come to Havenwood to escape recognition, to fade into obscurity. No one here knew his story, no one needed to. But the young man's stare lingered, his eyes narrowing as if searching for something. As Jack stood to leave, his sleeve rode up, revealing the trident. The young man froze, his coffee untouched. His face paled, and he whispered, "It can't be." Jack's heart skipped. He didn't know this kid, but that look, pure shock, meant trouble. The past was catching up, and Jack wasn't ready. Jack's boots scuffed the diner's floor as he hurried toward the door, the young man's stare burning into his back. He didn't turn around, instinct told him to keep moving. The rain outside was heavier now, soaking his flannel as he stepped into the night. Havenwood's streets were quiet, but Jack's pulse wasn't. That kid's reaction to the tattoo wasn't random. The trident meant something to him, and Jack dreaded what that might mean. Behind him, the diner door creaked. The young man followed, his footsteps deliberate. "Sir," he called, voice steady but urgent. Jack didn't stop, pretending not to hear over the rain. He rounded a corner, hoping to lose him in the maze of Havenwood's alleys. But the kid was fast, closing the gap. "Wait. Commander Ramsey?" The name hit Jack like a bullet. He froze, rain dripping from his cap. No one had called him that in 20 years. He turned slowly, meeting the young man's eyes. They were intense, almost reverent, but laced with disbelief. "I'm just an old man," Jack growled, voice low. "You've got the wrong guy." The young man stepped closer, undeterred. "I saw the trident. Operation Black Tide. You were there." Jack's stomach twisted. Black Tide was classified, a mission buried in Pentagon vaults. "How did this kid know I am a SEAL, sir?" "Lieutenant Ethan Cole. My father, he served with you." Ethan's voice cracked, his eyes searching Jack's face. "He didn't make it back." Jack's mind raced. Cole. The name sparked a memory. Blood, gunfire, a brother lost. He'd sworn to leave that life behind, but Ethan's gaze held him hostage. The tattoo had betrayed him, and now the past demanded answers. Jack's breath caught, the rain masking the tremor in his hands. Ethan Cole stood before him, a living echo of a man Jack had failed. Lieutenant Daniel Cole, Ethan's father, had been his closest friend during Operation Black Tide. The mission was a disaster. Ambushed in a jungle, half the team didn't come home. Daniel's face, bloodied and still, haunted Jack's nightmares. The trident tattoo was a vow to never forget, but Jack had tried to anyway. "You don't know me, kid," Jack said, voice rough, turning to walk away. Ethan grabbed his arm, not forceful but desperate. "My dad wrote about you," Ethan said. "In his letters. Said you were the best. Said you saved him once." His eyes glistened, rain mixing with something else. "I need to know what happened." Jack pulled free, his jaw tight. "Go home, Lieutenant. Some stories stay buried." He wanted to run, to vanish into Havenwood's shadows, but Ethan's words pinned him. "I'm not asking for me," Ethan pressed. "My mom, she's dying. She needs closure. You're the only one left who knows the truth." Jack's chest ached. He'd avoided Daniel's family, too ashamed to face them after Black Tide. The official report called it a tragic loss, but Jack knew the real cost: his decision, his mistake. The tattoo burned under his sleeve, a brand of guilt. Ethan stepped back, giving Jack space but not relenting. "I'll be at the diner tomorrow, sir. Please." His voice was firm, a SEAL's resolve, but his eyes begged. Jack said nothing, walking into the rain. Havenwood's quiet streets felt suffocating now. The past wasn't just knocking, it was breaking down the door, and Jack couldn't outrun it anymore. Jack's small apartment was a fortress of solitude, but tonight it felt like a cage. Rain tapped the windows as he sat on the worn couch, a bottle of whiskey untouched on the table. Ethan's words echoed, "My mom, she's dying. You're the only one left." The trident tattoo itched, a reminder of promises broken. Jack had buried black tide, but Ethan's face, Daniel's face, dragged it back. He closed his eyes and the jungle flashed vivid. Gunfire, screams. Daniel's hand slipping from his grasp. Jack had led the team into that ambush, misreading intel. 8 men went in, 3 came out. Daniel wasn't one of them. The official report blamed enemy tactics, but Jack carried the truth. His call, his failure. Havenwood was supposed to be his escape. No one here knew Commander Ramsey, the decorated SEAL. He was just Jack, the quiet veteran who fixed cars and avoided eye contact. But Ethan had seen the tattoo, a symbol no SEAL could mistake. It wasn't just ink, it was a bond, a debt. Jack stood, pacing. Ethan deserved answers, but telling the truth meant exposing his shame. He could lie, send the kid away, but those eyes, Daniel's eyes, wouldn't let him. And the mother, dying, waiting for closure. Jack's fists clenched. He'd failed her husband. Could he fail her too? The clock read 2 a.m. Ethan would be at the diner tomorrow. Jack could skip town, vanish again. But running felt wrong now, like betraying Daniel twice. He grabbed his jacket, the whiskey still untouched. The rain had stopped, but the storm inside him hadn't. Jack stepped out, heading for the diner. He'd face Ethan, face the past, whether he was ready or not. The diner glowed faintly in Havenwood's pre-dawn mist, its neon sign flickering. Jack pushed through the door, the bell jingling softly. Ethan sat in the same booth, nursing a coffee, his navy hoodie damp from the night's rain. His eyes flicked up, hopeful but guarded, as Jack slid into the seat across from him. The trident tattoo, now exposed on Jack's forearm, seemed to pulse under the fluorescent lights. "You came," Ethan said, voice low, almost surprised. Jack nodded, his throat tight. "Don't make me regret it." He signaled the waitress for coffee, buying time. The diner was empty save for an old trucker at the counter, the air thick with grease and tension. Ethan leaned forward. "My dad's letters said black tide was hell. Said you carried him through it, until you couldn't. What went wrong, sir?" Jack's cup trembled slightly as he set it down. "You're a SEAL. You know missions go south. Bad intel, bad luck." His voice was gruff, deflecting. Ethan's jaw tightened. "That's not enough. My mom deserves the truth. She's got weeks left, maybe less. She still cries for him." Jack looked away. Daniel's face flashing in his mind, laughing, bleeding, gone. The guilt gnawed deeper. "I led the op," he admitted, voice barely audible. "I missed a signal. Enemy was waiting. Your dad, he covered me. Saved my life." Ethan's eyes widened, then softened. "He never blamed you. His letters didn't either." He slid a folded paper across the table, an old letter, edges worn. "Read it." Jack hesitated, the tattoo a heavy weight. He took the letter, Daniel's handwriting staring back like a ghost. The truth was coming, and Jack couldn't hide from it anymore. Jack's fingers trembled as he unfolded the letter. Daniel's handwriting a jagged reminder of a life lost. The diner's hum faded, Ethan's steady gaze the only anchor. The paper was brittle, dated weeks before black tide. Jack's eyes scanned the words, each one a knife. "Ramsey's the best CO I've ever had. If I don't make it, tell him it wasn't his fault." Jack's throat closed. Daniel had known the risks, yet still absolved him. Ethan watched, silent, as Jack read. "He trusted you," Ethan said softly. "Always did. But Mom needs to hear it from you." Jack folded the letter, his voice rough. "Your dad was the brave one. I got us into that mess. He got me out." The trident tattoo burned, a mark of honor he felt unworthy of. "I never faced your mom. Couldn't." Ethan leaned back, pain flickering in his eyes. "She doesn't hate you. She just wants to understand why Dad didn't come home." He paused, then added, "She's in hospice, an hour from here. I'm going tomorrow. Come with me." Jack's instinct was to refuse, to run again. Havenwood was his shield, but Ethan had shattered it. The letter sat between them, Daniel's voice echoing. It wasn't his fault, but Jack's guilt screamed louder. He'd hidden for 20 years, letting silence bury his shame. Now, a dying woman and her son demanded he face it. "I'll think about it," Jack muttered, standing. Ethan didn't push, but his eyes said he wouldn't wait long. Jack left the diner, the letter in his pocket like a lead weight. Dawn broke over Havenwood, but the darkness inside him lingered. He had one day to decide. Run or confront the past. Jack didn't sleep. The letter lay on his bedside table, Daniel's words searing his mind. By noon, Havenwood's sun burned through the morning mist, and Jack stood at the edge of town, gripping his truck's keys. Ethan's offer echoed. "Come with me." Facing Daniel's widow meant ripping open old wounds, but running felt like cowardice. The trident tattoo, exposed on his arm, glinted in the sunlight, a challenge he couldn't ignore. He drove to the diner, finding Ethan outside, leaning against a black SUV. Ethan's face lit with cautious hope as Jack approached. "You're here," Ethan said, straightening. "Don't make me regret it," Jack replied, climbing into the passenger seat. The drive to the hospice was silent, the hum of the engine filling the void. Jack's mind churned. Daniel's laugh, the jungle's chaos, the moment he'd failed. The tattoo was a badge of honor for most SEALs, but for Jack, it was a scar. They reached the hospice, a quiet building nestled in rolling hills. Ethan led the way, his steps steady, while Jack's felt heavy. Inside, the air smelled of antiseptic and fading flowers. Ethan paused at a door, turning to Jack. "Her name's Sarah. She's frail, but she's still Mom. Just tell her what you told me." Jack nodded, his mouth dry. Ethan pushed the door open, revealing a small room. Sarah Cole lay in bed, her face gaunt but eyes sharp, like Daniel's. She saw Jack, and her lips parted. "Ramsey?" she whispered, voice trembling. Jack froze, the tattoo exposed, a silent confession. 20 years of guilt flooded back, but Sarah's eyes held no anger, only questions. He stepped forward, ready to speak, to finally unburden the truth. Jack stood at Sarah's bedside, the hospice room suffocatingly quiet. Her eyes, so like Daniel's, searched his face. The trident tattoo on his arm felt exposed, a beacon of his past. Ethan lingered by the door, giving them space. Jack's voice caught, but he forced the words out. "Sarah, I'm sorry. For Daniel. For not coming sooner." Sarah's frail hand reached for his, trembling but warm. "You're here now," she said softly. "That's enough." Her voice was weak, but her gaze held strength. "Tell me about him." The end. Jack sat, the weight of 20 years pressing down. "Black Tide was my call. Bad intel led us into an ambush. Daniel, he was the best of us. He saved me, covered my retreat. I tried to get him out, but," his voice broke. "I failed him." Sarah's eyes glistened, but she squeezed his hand. "He wrote about you, said you were his brother. He knew the risks." She coughed, her breath shallow. "Did he suffer?" Jack shook his head, lying to ease her pain. "It was quick. The truth, Daniel's blood soaking the jungle floor, stayed buried. The tattoo burned, a reminder of his lie, his guilt." Sarah nodded, a tear falling. "He loved you, Jack. Never blamed you." Her words cut deeper than any accusation. She reached for a photo on the nightstand, Daniel, smiling, in uniform. "Take it. Remember him." Jack took the photo, his throat tight. "I never forgot." He stood, meeting Ethan's eyes. The kid nodded, understanding the weight of this moment. Sarah's breathing slowed, peaceful now. Jack left the room, the photo and tattoo anchoring him to a past he could no longer run from. Jack stepped into the hospice parking lot, the photo of Daniel clutched in his hand. The sun was setting, casting long shadows over Havenwood's hills. Ethan followed, silent but steady, his presence a reminder of the bond forged by the trident tattoo. Jack's chest felt lighter, though the guilt lingered like a stubborn scar. Sarah's forgiveness was a gift he hadn't earned, but it shifted something inside him. "You did good in there," Ethan said, leaning against the SUV. "She needed that. So did you." Jack grunted, avoiding Ethan's gaze. "Don't make me a hero, kid. I'm not." He glanced at the tattoo, faded but stark against his skin. It had betrayed his anonymity, but maybe it had also saved him. Ethan's eyes softened. "Dad called you one. That's enough for me." He pulled out another letter, this one unopened, sealed with Daniel's initials. "Found this after you left the diner. It's for you." Jack's hand hesitated before taking it. The paper felt heavy, like a grenade. He didn't open it, not yet. Why now? He asked, voice low. Mom's time is short, Ethan said. I didn't want her to go without knowing. Without you knowing. He paused, then added, you're not alone, sir. Not anymore. Jack nodded, the words sinking in. Havenwood had been his hiding place, but Ethan and Sarah had pulled him back to the world. The tattoo, once a mark of shame, now felt like a bridge, to Daniel, to the men he'd lost, to the man he could still be. Get in, Jack said, heading for the truck. Let's get you home. Ethan smiled faintly, climbing in. The road ahead was uncertain, but Jack was done running. The truck rumbled through Havenwood's quiet streets, the photo of Daniel tucked in Jack's pocket beside the unopened letter. Ethan sat beside him, the silence between them comfortable now, forged by shared truth. The trident tattoo on Jack's arm no longer felt like a curse. It was a reminder of duty, of brothers lost and found. The stars above glittered, clearer than they had in years. You staying in town? Ethan asked, breaking the quiet. Jack shrugged. Havenwood's home. For now. He glanced at Ethan. You got leave for a week, Ethan said. Then back to base. But I'll visit Mom, and you, if you're around. Jack nodded, a faint smile tugging at his lips. I'll be here. The words felt like a vow. He'd spent 20 years hiding, but Sarah's forgiveness and Ethan's trust had anchored him. The tattoo, once a secret, was now a badge he'd carry openly. They pulled up to the diner, where Ethan's SUV waited. Ethan extended a hand. Thank you, Commander. For Dad. For Mom. Jack shook it, his grip firm. Just Jack. And thank you, kid. Ethan's eyes, so like Daniel's, held no judgment, only respect. He got out, pausing to salute before driving off. Jack sat alone, the letter in his pocket heavy. He pulled it out, breaking the seal. Daniel's words spilled across the page. Jack, if you're reading this, you made it. Keep going. You're enough. Tears blurred Jack's vision, but he smiled. The diner's neon sign flickered as Jack started the truck. Havenwood slept, but Jack was awake, alive. The tattoo gleamed under the dashboard light, a symbol of redemption, a mission to live for those he'd lost.